Hi, it's Matt here from TubeEO.com. Now I want to show you in this tutorial how to use page builders to quickly make landing pages. Now remember, the whole idea with a lot of this early stage video marketing is to be able to produce things quickly, cheaply and test things before you roll out big expensive campaigns. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we need to name our new page. I'm just going to call it test page, tester page. And instead of going into your normal visual or text editor over here, we're going to go into the page builder view. And I'm just going to pause it till that comes up. Now when you go into the page view, up will come your blank page. Now notice it's within the content section, so my header is already there. So if you're using an existing WordPress theme, whatever header structure you have will appear above this section that I'm going to build in, and then your footer will appear below it. And if you have widgets or menu structures on your left or right, obviously they'll appear there as well. So we just build within this content section. So what I'm going to do, there's a few sections up here. There's the help, done when you're finished doing what you're doing. Now in tools, you can duplicate this page once you're finished, or you can save a template. So if you build a page that you're going to roll out across all 4 pages or 10 pages of your site, as soon as you finish, you save a template, and you can edit global settings in there, such as the CSS style, which that's an advanced, I won't go into that, but your margins and padding. So if you want a really spaced out website, you might bump that up to 30 or 40. Depending on what width you want, you can change your global settings for your page width, and you can set your default row width as a fixed width or a full width. In other words, do you want it to be, say, 1 inch or 2 in from either width of either edge of the screen, or do you want it rolling all the way to the edge? And that would be dependent on the max width you set there. But anyway, I want to give you a quick overview, so I won't go into everything here, but down here is some scalability options, and you, with your responsive layout, you can pick here and when your pages will break from one layout to the next. So for example, you're going to have one size for PCs, one size for tablets and one size for smartphones, and you can change that. So you test your device excuse me, your pages as you're making your site on all 3 of those devices, see what it looks like, and if you need to change those, you do so slightly. Or if Apple comes out with a new a new iPhone, and it's 1 inch bigger, and all of a sudden your sites look terrible, you can quickly change them in here and apply that across the whole site. So let's just get out of that. Now the other thing I wanted to say about saving a template, not only might you save a template when you're finished a page, but I often save a template for parts of my page. For example, if I design a custom footer that I want to plug onto every page, once I'm finished designing it, I will save the template, and that way I can just plug on a footer onto any page I want, rather than having to copy a whole page at a time. Or if I've got perhaps a section that contains, say, 4 videos on the left, text on the right, then I'll save a template for that module, and I'll name it videos left, text right with bold heading, and then I'll roll that out. And anything that you're going to repeatedly use, it's a good idea to just save as a template. So let's just do a quick bit of building and see how quickly you can establish things. Now, the first thing is I can add content myself, blank content, or I can pick from their predefined templates or ones that I've saved. Now these are some of the ones that I've saved, and you can see that, for example, I've got initial layout left, video left, text on the right. Okay, I've got a pricing page with FAQs, and I've put the date there, a 4x2 column rows, etc. So now they also provide you with templates, and you can get other people's templates from various places. So they got a blank one. If you wanted to copy that sort of layout, you wanted a big picture up the top, 3 call out boxes with images, a heading and text, and then it looks like they've got a read more or click for more link below. Then you select that one, and these are your homepage type or styles. They don't have to be just a homepage, but you can pick any one of those. And then the other section they have is content pages. So when you want to do a FAQ page, bang, you can plug that in and you've got your FAQ page built in a couple of seconds, and then it's just a matter of populating the content. So first of all, let's just have a quick look at that one. So we click on it. Okay, so you can see that it's now popped in, and we've got our frequently asked questions. Need help. And then the great feature is a lot of these things they're written in Latin, and now that's quite good for me because it allows you to fly through your website and quickly see any areas that you might have forgotten to populate or delete or whatever. Whereas if they're written in English, you might accidentally read over them and not notice. So if I want to edit any of these, so I just click on them and up will come say the first one. Now I can edit the style. I can change the border color, I can change the label size, the spacing, etc. in the advanced options. Now this is quite interesting. Remember back when we set up global settings, we could say break it from say a PC sized website to a tablet or a phone. This is where you select, and you can select it for any part of your website at all. So if I only want this question to show when someone's on a certain size device, I can select it in here. So again, you won't know that. I suggest you just build your site first and then you go through and create things like this later. Now, so if we go back to items, I just want to show you how quickly and easy it is. So if I just edit the first item, and my answer is blah blah blah, and the question is, what will it take, let's just, delete all of that, how long does my subscription last? Question mark. Okay, now you can see, or you should be able to see, that just there it has updated already and I haven't clicked saved yet. Now if I cancel that, I will lose that change. But let's say I want to duplicate that because it's perhaps got an answer that's common, or it might have a video or picture in it that's going to be common, and it's quicker to duplicate it. I just click on that item there, and you can see now that it's duplicated. If I want to get rid of it, I click there and delete it. If I want to change the order, I simply drag it. Okay, so that's how quickly you can create an FAQ page, and then you just need to go and fill it in. So if I go save and then done, now when you are finished making a change, you have 3 choices. Save as a draft if I want to go back in and keep working on it, discard the changes if I'm not happy, or publish the changes. Once I click publish, it will take me back to my editing page, or it will publish the page directly to the internet. So there we go, and you can see up here it's not my FAQ page, it's just out of sight for you, but it's actually come up as a title up here as test page. And now you can see that if I explode that bullet point, my answer is blah blah blah. We've got a working FAQ page. And then if I didn't need any of those, I'd just delete them, etc. So let's now just take another quick look in the page builder, how quickly I can make changes to this page. So let's assume that I've made a boo-boo and I want to make this page on the bottom of, say, my home page. to change my mind and I want to go to a single page layout. Now normally that would take you quite a considerable amount of time, but in a page builder, what I would do, and there's several ways to do this, I think the quickest way is I would just go done, sorry, my mistake, I would go tools, and I want to save it as a template, and I'm going to call it test FAQ page to be deleted. Just to remind me to delete it later, and I save it. That's now saved. I'm going to go done, and I'm going to just discard changes because I didn't make any. Now what I would do then is create another new page. Let's call this one test pretend home page. Okay, so we go back into our builder, and when you come in your builder it launches with this. So let's pick a home page. Now let's just pick randomly, say this one. So it's created a home page for us, which looks pretty good. It's got a feature slider up the top, some sections with headings and like this. You can play around with this and delete the sections you want, copy the sections you don't want, change and move them, and got a contact section down the bottom. Now let's say I want to insert my FAQ section here. So all I would do is go to my templates, find my test FAQ to be deleted, click on it, and I've got two options here. I can replace this whole page, which I don't want to do, or I can append the new layout, add it to the bottom. So let's append new layout. Okay, now what that's done is it's put my whole FAQ section at the bottom. Now I probably don't want it right at the very bottom. I probably want it below this section here. So all I do is grab that section, because it's going to be easier to move than my FAQ section, and drag it down to the bottom and drop it. Now I have a home page which I can quickly modify. I've got my frequently asked questions which I can modify, and I've got my contact information down the bottom, and I've virtually got the layout for a whole single page website done in the space, if I wasn't demonstrating to you and talking about it, of probably around about 5 minutes. Now I'll just show you a couple of other quick things in here. So you've got a contact form. Now behind the scenes in this, so you would put in your email address there, and anyone who then filled in that contact form would quickly come straight to you. The other thing that you can edit is if you click on your map section, you can punch in your address and it will show your location on the map, and you can adjust the zoom on that as well. So that's all I wanted to show you today in Page Builders. It's not about teaching you every step of how to use a page builder. It's more about just showing you that the usefulness that you can get out of a page builder compared to designing them from scratch. So I recommend and use Beaver Builder. I'm not promoting it as an affiliate. I may one day in the future, but I definitely get my value for money out of it. The hours it saves me in a week pays for itself. So over the time I've had it, I think I've probably paid for it about 50 times. So if you want any more information and you're not already there, head over to TubeEO.com. Don't forget we have a free report offer which you can sign up for on our homepage, and stay in touch.